In late 2020, it was announced that Korean Air was planning to acquire a majority stake in its local rival, Asiana. This landmark deal was made as the aviation industry, especially the South Korean carriers, have had to deal with the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, and the potential end result could be an Asian supercarrier based in South Korea. Fast forward to a few months later, now in March of 2021, and there has been some progress made by Korean Air related to the acquisition, which I will be discussing in this video. To recap how it got to this point, Asiana has been dealing with some financial problems and being in debt. In late 2019 and early 2020, there was a deal struck between the consortium led by Hyundai Development Corporation and Asiana's parent company, Kumho Asiana, which would see the Hyundai Development Corporation taking a majority stake in Asiana. That process fell through as the Hyundai Development Corporation backed out from the deal amid the COVID-19 pandemic, and according to reports, the Hyundai Development Corporation was asking for revisions in the terms of acquisition. The organization overseeing the current process of Asiana's sale, the state-run Korea Development Bank, has been providing additional funding for the airline and seeking out a potential buyer. A big potential buyer came in late 2020, and it was none other than its main local rival, Korean Air. For this, Korean Air is planning to buy stocks and bonds in a deal worth around 1.8 trillion Korean won. If the process is completed, this would give Korean Air a majority stake in its local rival of around 63.9%. Since this deal was announced, Korean Air has been making moves to complete the process, which includes satisfying regulatory requirements. Within months of announcing its plans to acquire Asiana, Korean Air sent documents to antitrust regulators in 8 different countries, where it flies to seek approval of the acquisition in countries it operates in, including the United States, South Korea, China, Japan, Turkey, Vietnam, Taiwan, and Thailand. So far, antitrust regulators in one country, Turkey, has granted approval for the acquisition, with 7 other countries to go. Meanwhile, at home in South Korea, Korean Air has submitted its plans for the acquisition process to the overseer of the process, the Korea Development Bank. According to reports from local outlets, Korean Air is planning to streamline redundant routes and businesses, along with merging the budget airline units without any layoffs, as the acquisition will result in the 2 biggest airlines of South Korea forming into one supercarrier. Regarding the budget airlines referenced, they are Korean Airlines subsidiary Jin Air, along with Asiana's Air Seoul and Air Busan. In order to facilitate the process, Korean Air is going through some fundraising, raising another 3 trillion Korean won to fund the acquisition, which may very likely include taking on the debts incurred by Asiana over the years. If all goes well, Korean Air could very well complete the process by the summer, around June. Amid the COVID-19 pandemic, so far this is one of the highest profile merger or acquisition of airlines within a country, making global headlines. So far, the path of the acquisition is going smoothly for Korean Air, in a move that will not only shake up the global aviation industry, but also the chaebols of South Korea. Being an acquisition, we could see some streamlining of the fleet and network, which is mentioned before, which actually I go more in depth in a previous video, which I will be linking in the description below. We'll likely see more moves regarding the fleet and route network adjustments when the initial acquisition process is completed. Though I can say I do find it hard to believe that there may not be layoffs, as this could be something we likely see in some form or another, maybe not necessarily amongst the carriers, including the budget airline subsidiaries, but more so with the non-air passenger and cargo services. This is a part of both Korean Air and Asiana's businesses that will come into play, as they do operate services including maintenance and repair facilities. When the time comes, I believe Korean Air and Asiana will have to deal with this, though in the meantime, it seems the process is going smoothly in favor of Korean Air. I definitely hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. This has been Flights in Asia, highlighting the news and updates from the aviation and travel scene in the Asia Pacific. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.